let's get back to your childhood. I bet you don't remember all the schools you went to growing up.
That's easy.
Okay, kindergarten, go.
From kindergarten through fourth grade. I went to HB Wilson,
Which is where?
Fairview section of the city.
Okay.
And then they introduced the CHIPS program, which is in Parkside at Forest Hill. I went there for like 3 months, and I really didn't like the environment, so I asked my mom to transfer back, and I went back to HB Wilson.
So let's stop for a second. Your mom actually was a teacher at HB Wilson.
Yes.
What was that like?
It was cool. Like, it was second nature to me. I started in kindergarten. My mom was there, and even going back further, pre-K. When I went to pre-K, I went to BPM, which is downtown Camden.
Okay.
And basically, I split days. I went day BPM, afternoon HB Wilson. So I grew up in an environment where my mom was there, and pretty much all my teachers were my mom's friends. So
got it.
It was
yeah, no
like
problems
family.
in school whatsoever.
I don't know.
So you said you went to Forest Hill and Parkside for 3 months.
Yes.
And then you determined you didn't like the environment. What was it that you didn't like?
I have no clue.
You don't remember? It's too far.
I would just say it just wasn't for me. It wasn't that the education was hard, because I was an AB student, and subsequently every now and again I get a C, depending on how I felt.
Okay.
But no matter where I went, AB. And when I went to Forest Hill, same thing. It just wasn't for me.
Okay. So you go back to HB Wilson.
Yes.
And do you graduate from HB Wilson?
Yes, I graduated from HB Wilson, then went to Morgan Village. Then
Where's Morgan Village?
It's still in Fairview.
It's also in the Fairview section.
Yes.
Okay. And you did that 6th through 8th grade?
Yes.
How was that experience for you?
Morgan was different. I'm gonna say it was a culture shock, because nobody prepared you for the combining of all the schools in the area. You got HB Wilson, Sumner, you got I forget what other schools was out there. Yorkshire. All the schools came together at Morgan Village, and when they came together at Morgan Village, you had culture clashes.
So it's kids from different neighborhoods now,
Yes.
not just your neighborhood.
Yes.
Okay.
So when the kids from different neighborhoods got together, it was a little bit. Some days was rougher than others. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Not that I got into anything, but I was always the kid that if something jumped off, was like, all right, I know, go that way.
Okay. So
like,
even though the school's in Fairview, all the kids are not from Fairview.
correct.
So you got kids from where? Where else?
Centerville, Fairview, you got Woodman Park, you got downtown. You got basically almost the whole city there except for Parkside.
Right. So so now it's like the Fairview kids are banding together against the Centerville kids, against the Whitman Park kids, right?
Yep.
Interesting. So how'd you fare with that?
Oh, I stayed to myself. It's like what Sonny from a Bronx tale say. He was like, when you go to jail, you can either read, work out, or get in trouble. And they was like, all right, so what did you do? He was like, oh, I read.
right.
So basically, I was always the opposite. If anything jumped off here, all right, I was over here. If anything moved over here, I was over here. Like, I'm gonna say I was blessed to find a way out of trouble.
Okay.
That's the best way I could put it.
Interesting. So you graduate from Morgan Village.
Yes.
And you go where?
I went to Canada High.
How was that experience? Or did you do the whole 4 years at Canada High?
All 4 years at Canada High.
Okay. So you had a pretty stable childhood as far as schools.
Pretty much.
Did you live in the same house growing up?
Born and raised.
So you lived in one house.
Yes.
And you went to really 2 elementary schools. You got transferred to the quote SMART program, determined you didn't like it, and went back to your neighborhood elementary school where your mom happened to work.
Yes.
And then you went to 1 middle school and 1 high school.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. And how was high school for you?
High school for me was, I'm gonna say the first 2 years was rough trying to figure out where I fit in. But then the last 2 years, it was easy. I ain't gonna say easy, I'm gonna just say it was comfortable, because I found my niche and, found the group of people that I was comfortable with.
So let's talk about that first 2 years. When you say trying to figure out where you fit in, what do you mean?
Canada High was like a bigger version of middle school, to where you had people from every neighborhood there, and then you had the divisions based on the different classes. Like, I say it all the time, the class of 95 that graduated from Canada High,
Right.
changed the culture of Canada High because,
Which is your class, by the way.
yes,
Okay.
before my class, everybody was separate. Like the juniors and seniors didn't really rock with the sophomores and the freshmen.
Okay.
But then when we came in, you know, it was like we was embraced more, and then going forward, it was like there was no lines dividing the classes.
What do you
Like,
think was different about your class that caused you guys to be embraced?
I would say the changing of the times. When I say the changing of the times, like you could look at music from when we came in to the music before. Like I'm gonna give you an example. You got Run DMC was popular before we got there,
Right.
and when we got there, Biggie became the big difference. Biggie and Pop. So it's like, all right, the whole culture around everything changed. So going to high school, instead of it being a differentiation based off of, you know, whatever was going on, it was based off of the music.
Right. Okay. So, and then you said in 11th or 12th grade, you found your niche.
Yes,
What exactly was your niche?
run the track.
Okay. You were a track star.
Yeah.
What did you run?
Here we go.
Like, I ain't gonna say a star, but I was on the track team. What did you
Hey,
run?
listen, I never embraced the term track star until I realized, track. If you run track, you are technically a star because it's you against the clock.
Right.
It ain't you against nobody else but the clock. So
Okay.
I embrace it. I ran the 110 high hurdles and the 400 intermediate hurdles. Also
Okay.
ran the 800. But something that I found funny when I first started running track, I ran track to get faster for football. And then when I started running track, I was like, hold up, wait, I like track better than I like football.
Okay.
And I was slow. I can admit to it.
Right.
But the coach, he was like, yeah, you're going to run the 3,200, the 1,600, which is the longer race. I'm like, why? I want to get faster. I didn't know what he was doing was prepping us to run the faster races. You got to get a base underneath you before you do anything.
Right.
So I was like, all right, it took me until I was 40-something to realize that the 15, 16-year-old me had to figure out, all right, what's going on because nobody explained it to me.
Right.
Now I'm older, I'm like, all right. So it brought me to the conversations I had with my son. I explain stuff to him so that he understands and so that he don't complain. I guess that's one of the reasons why they say he coachable, because I talk to him so that 9 times out of 10, if he's been introduced to somebody anywhere, he already gains an understanding of what's going on before he start, unlike some other kids that don't have that
Let's talk about that for a second. So you have that strategy, and then you have the Mr. Miyagi strategy, right? Where he had Daniel's son during the wax on, wax
Yes.
off for like a month.
Yes.
He's like, why am I doing this? But he wouldn't tell him
Yep.
until it was time for him to actually fight. He's like, yo, you never taught me how to fight. He was like, oh, yes, I did. So do you think there is an advantage from explaining and not explaining? Like, do you use, do you use the completely 100% explaining strategy?
I use both. The funny part, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I used to always think, all right, I'm gonna be Daniel's son. But now in this time frame where it's a lot of quote unquote positive black males missing, I'm like, hold up, wait, I'm not Daniel's son, I'm Miyagi. So I gotta show this dude or show any young person that I come across, I gotta do different things first, and then when I'm done, and if I catch him complaining, then I explain to him and show him how it fits in. That's the same thing with education. My son, I got him reading The Richest Man in Babylon. He like, Daddy, why you keep giving me these daggone books about finance? I'm like, trust me, it'll make sense when you get older. And now he has his own bank card. He like, hold up, all right, I get it.
Okay, got it. So you do a little mixture of both.
Yes.
Got it. So high school. Question: Did you have your first job in high school?
Actually, I had my first job in 8th grade.
Your first job in 8th grade?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going door to door selling newspapers, selling the Carrier Post.
Really?
Yeah.
Which is South Jersey's main newspaper, the Carrier Post, right?
Yeah, literally signing people up, like knock on your door.
Okay.
Yeah, would you like to sign up for the Carrier Post? Like selling subscriptions.
Okay.
That was the worst.
It was the worst? How long did you do it?
I did it for almost 2 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I ain't had no other options.
So did you, was it a salary or a commission based?
It was commission based.
Okay. How much did you make off of every subscription?
I did. I'm gonna say off of every subscription we got like $6.
Okay.
That ain't much, but to a kid that ain't had nothing, well, that was everything. You know what I mean?
Got it.
I could buy my own lunch for the week. Buy my,
Right.
you know, save up, buy whatever I want, do whatever I want.
Right. Okay. And so, did you have any other jobs in high school?
Nah, in high school, once I got to high school, track and football became a priority.
Okay.
Like, I ran track to get faster for football. Then after I started finding out all the stuff that I do for football, everything was good.
Okay. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna ask this question. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst ever and 10 being the best possible, how would you personally rate your childhood?
I say about 5.
Okay. Now, what would have had to occur for you to say it was a 6 or a 7?
That's tough. I would probably say more exposure, more doing things. Like, I was one of them kids that actually had a creative mind. I still got a creative mind to this day, but we really didn't do much as a family. And when I say didn't do much, I spent my summer vacations on my block. So from June to September, when we got out of school.
What block, by the way?
Mechanic Street.
Mechanic Street. Okay, shout out to Mechanic Street.
Between Lewis and Rose.
Okay.
So, you know, that was all I knew, my neighborhood. But my block was everything.
Okay.
I'm
So
in the house.
you didn't have a parent that your dad was like, you going to do something this summer. You ain't
Nah.
just going to be sitting around watching TV.
Not at all. It was whatever we wanted to do.
Got it.
And I was home until football camp started, and then that was my summer activities.
Okay.
It sucked.
Do you have a worst childhood day or time period that you would like to forever forget if you could?
Originally, my answer was no, but I thought of like 4 different things.
Okay.
I know originally it was 3, but it's 4. I'm gonna work backwards.
All right.
We're gonna start at high school.
Okay.
You know, at high school, like I said, I sucked running track when I first started.
Right.
But I actually ended up making it to the States my senior year, and
Did you?
being part of the state championship.
In what event?
110 high hurdles.
Nice.
Yeah, for that you gotta have a combination of speed, agility, and basically pay attention to what's going on around you. Like,
Right.
I was a nut. I used to run through hurdles and break them. But the bad part about running track in high school, my senior year, I did the best out of my 4 years in high school. Got to the awards banquet and get not their award. Everybody around me got awards, and I'm like, I ain't get no award. This is my best season.
Right.
So that right there sucked, because I'm like, yo, I put in all this work, did everything I was supposed to do. Even we won a state championship. That was Canada High's first state championship in, I'm gonna say like 10, 20 years.
Right.
We brought it back. I got nothing. So that right there, that pissed me off.
That must have been a crushing feeling driving home.
Definitely.
Right.
Going, like I said, working backwards. You got the time where my brother, who basically, he don't realize how the situation affected me, but it affected me deeply to the point where I'm just making peace with it. When we was younger, my older brother Ali, he drowned